Hey guys, it's Kendra again with Where's Moon Astrology, and I'm here today to tell you about the astrology of this week, March 1st to March 7th, 2020. Now just a reminder that this is a universal horoscope, meaning that I'm going to be talking about the energies that are at play for everyone this week. This is not going to be specific to your chart, but you will be feeling this on a universal level. So the first major influence that we have this week is actually today, Monday, March 2nd. This is going to be Venus in Aries square Saturn in Capricorn. Now the square is not a nice aspect, it's not pleasant. Of course, because Venus does move very quickly, it's only going to last for a couple days. It's going to be strongest today, March 2nd, and tomorrow, March 3rd. But Venus square Saturn can have a lot of people feeling very unnecessarily weighted down. Because Venus rules beauty, pleasure, relationships, and Saturn rules restriction, discipline, basically what can happen is you can either feel over serious in your relationships, you might be feeling very critical of partners and friends, or you may be feeling that they are overly critical towards you. In general, Venus square Saturn is not the most pleasurable period of time. It's like you're kind of running into a wall as far as pleasure is concerned. It can feel like hard work to be in a relationship, and it's not hard work that comes easy and it feels like there's an immediate or very noticeable payoff. A lot of people feel ugly and unattractive during this period of time as well. It can be an aspect that promotes insecure feelings, which makes me feel really bad for people who have this aspect in their birth chart. For them, it feels like they're chasing unattainable perfections. So that should tell you a little bit of something about what this period of time can be like for the rest of us. It can just feel very limiting as far as the things of Venus are concerned. You might also notice that money is very limited. You're feeling restriction when it comes to your wallet. This is really not a good time to purchase stocks or make any big decisions financially because, again, we are in Mercury retrograde, so the decisions that you make financially right now are not going to be well informed. Actually, the decisions you make in any aspect of your life are not going to be very well informed during Mercury retrograde in Pisces, but this is very much not a good time to make financial decisions with Venus square Saturn. On March 3rd, we have Venus sextile Mercury, which can definitely soften the influence of Venus square Saturn a little bit. This is going to make communication a little sweeter. It's going to make the way you speak to people, the way you communicate, more diplomatic. It's going to make information more well received. Now, the sextile isn't a flowing aspect like the trine. It is an easy aspect, and it is an aspect that promotes growth. So basically what this aspect is saying is that during this period of time, you have the opportunity to step into ease of communication, to communicate loving feelings better. That doesn't mean it's going to necessarily be easy to do it, but it does mean that you can benefit greatly from having a softer touch and from communicating from a place of love than you usually would. Now on March 4th, we have Mercury retrograde entering the sign of Aquarius. Now we've already been in Mercury retrograde since February 17th, but it's been in Pisces this whole time, which has kind of meant that we take a more introspective approach to ourselves. You know, we're kind of going within, we're connecting spiritually. With Mercury entering Aquarius retrograde, I would say that for the remainder of the retrograde, we can really benefit from having a more introspective approach to our ideas, especially ideas that seem very zany, quirky, innovative, anything that seems like it hasn't been done before. Now is the time to really explore that territory because it's not obviously a good time to take any action steps. We talked about this in my Mercury retrograde video. Mercury retrograde is never a great time to take action steps, nothing concrete, but it's a great time to explore those ideas and kind of formulate how you want to approach them. Aquarius being a very far-sighted, futuristic, and innovative sign, Mercury retrograde in Aquarius for the remainder of this retrograde is really going to lend itself to exploring ideas. Also on March 4th, we have Venus entering the sign of Taurus, which is great. We've had Venus in the playful and childlike sign of Aries, and that has been a very fun energy. But it's not a great place for Venus to be. It is in detriment in the sign of Aries. Venus in Taurus is at home. Venus rules the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is obviously a very sensual sign. This is a very sensible sign. This is a very stable sign. With Venus entering Taurus, our loving energy becomes more stabilized. We're more inclined to commit ourselves, to be sensual with our partner, to want to make serious commitments as opposed to wanting to play the field, which may have been more the inclination with Venus and Aries. Or even if you're in a committed relationship, the energy with Venus and Aries might have been more playful, a little more bantering, while Venus and Taurus can make things a little more sensual, a little more stable, a little more reclusive possibly. You might find yourself wanting to spend more time at home during Venus and Taurus. Venus and Taurus are both associated with money. They're both energies that are associated with money as well. So with Venus entering Taurus, we may have a more stabilized approach to how we're handling our finances, something more sensible. With Venus and Aries, we may have been a little bit more prone to overspend. We may have spent impulsively. But with Venus and Taurus, I think the inclination can be to be much more practical in how we handle our finances and to think more long term. You know, Taurus is all about growth. So with Venus and Taurus, we might be thinking about how to grow our finances over the long term instead of how we can just enjoy ourselves in the present moment. Now, I think this is a great energy for, you know, the Mercury retrograde in Aquarius and all of the other things happening astrologically that kind of say, you know, don't be spending, don't be buying, don't be making financial decisions right now. Venus and Taurus can, you know, really lend itself to those other energies, you know, adding that, you know, sensible approach to spending. Now on March 7th, we have one more aspect of Venus. Fortunately, the intense energy of Venus square Saturn has subsided by this point, and now Venus is conjunct Uranus in Taurus. When a personal planet touches Uranus, anything could happen. Uranus is the planet of unpredictability, of ups and downs. So whatever you're thinking is going to happen during Venus conjunct Uranus is probably not it. But one thing that is associated with Venus touching Uranus in any way is love at first sight. You know, things can hit you quickly under this transit. If you meet somebody under this transit, it may feel electric, it may feel fated, it may feel that you're going to fall in love right on the spot. Now, I wouldn't necessarily trust that feeling. If anything, have fun with it. You know, spend time with that person, get to know them. Maybe they can expose you to something you've never been exposed to before, help you learn. It's a great time, especially for meeting people who are unconventional and can kind of help you open your mind or break you out of any kind of boxes that you're in. Essentially, this is a great time for flirtation and for electric feelings and for anything that feels like it might be love at first sight. But again, I wouldn't trust that feeling. I would say go with that feeling and explore it as much as possible. Allow it to teach you whatever it's supposed to teach you. But don't necessarily think that if you feel something under this transit that you should trust that and that it's going to be something long-term, something you can put your trust in. I don't think that Venus conjunct Uranus is a great period of time for meeting the one, if that's what you're looking for. When it comes to your finances, this is a period of time, again, where anything could happen. You may come into money during this period of time. Venus conjunct Uranus can show, you know, a sudden influx of cash. It can also show a very sudden loss. So please take any precautions you feel you may need to in order to secure your wealth. If you have investments that you may be concerned about, really take a look at those at this time, because Venus conjunct Uranus could really go either way. And of course, I'm not a stockbroker. I can't give you financial advice, but I would say that under Venus conjunct Uranus, you should be very wary about any investments that you have. Anyway, that is the astrology of March 1st to March 7th, 2020. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more weekly horoscopes just like this one. Thank you so much again for watching, and have a great day.